Good morning and welcome to the Small Business Summit, which is proudly hosted by Verizon Business and the New Orleans Times-Picayune. We are delighted to be here in the vibrant city of New Orleans, which is, of course, renowned for its rich culture, its history, its hospitality. And as we look forward to hosting Super Bowl 59 in February of next year, it is crucial for small business owners and community members to really understand how to prepare and how to capitalize on this major event. And today I am thrilled to facilitate a conversation with some key industry leaders who will provide valuable insights to help get you ready for Super Bowl. We've got an outstanding lineup of panelists, as you can see right here next to me. We've got Chincie Mouton, the Director of Community Engagement at the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. Thanks for being here. Seth Hachmeister, Senior Director of Verizon Business Sales, and Daphine Barnes, Executive Director of Economic Mobility at G&O Inc. Wonderful group here. We're going to have a lot of questions, so let's dive in and get started. So Chincie, how has the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation begun preparing for the Super Bowl? I know it's been a while since the preparations started, so just fill us in on that.
Yeah, so the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation has been around for over 30 years. And our responsibility is to bid on large-scale sporting events that have an economic and community impact. And so right now we're working closely with the NFL, and we're the local boots on the ground and planning for the Super Bowl. And so we have an operations and logistics team that works on the security, transportation, parking lots, venues, all of those good things. And then we also have our marketing and communications team that makes sure that our brand is getting out there, but also making sure that people are aware of all the opportunities that come about through the Super Bowl. And then our responsibility on the community engagement side is to make sure that we're operating a supplier diversity program where we have over 200 underrepresented businesses. We also have our legacy program where we're working with local nonprofit organizations that are focused on youth development, workforce training, equity and inclusion, health and wellness. And then we also have our community champions. So you may have heard of Demario Davis, Tyron Matthew, Jen Hale, Cam Jordan. They're also working behind the scenes and making sure that we have brand ambassadors for all of our work in the community. And then we're also working on sustainability projects as well.
That's a lot. Is there ever a point between now and then where you say, okay, all the pieces of the puzzle are in place, we're ready?
No,
I didn't think so.
We're constantly working, and you'll see that vision come to life Super Bowl week.
Okay. Daphine, what initiatives are in place to help small businesses capitalize on the opportunities presented by the Super Bowl?
Well, one of the things that G&O Inc., as the Regional Economic Development Organization for the Greater New Orleans region, is to ensure that we are making the proper connections with the people who are running the Super Bowl, such as with Chincie and the NFL Supplier Diversity Committee. So we serve on that committee, and we make sure that the small businesses, especially those that are ran by BIPOC populations and also women and women-owned, that they have the opportunity to compete for contracts, that we support them throughout that entire process, and that we also connect them with the different organizations that we have in the city that help businesses become certified, that help them figure out things like who to go to is for accountants, how to make sure your business is able to be prepared for different types of contracts. So we connect them with organizations like NOLA.com, we connect them with the Urban League, and also organizations like JETCO in Jefferson Parish, St. Tammany Core. So that way they have the ability to be able to properly present their business and be prepared to scale for such organizations, for such events such as the Super Bowl.
Okay, and Seth, how does Verizon Business support local businesses in preparing for large-scale events like this?
Yeah, so first off, thank you, Kim. Appreciate all the small business owners being out here, spending the morning with us. Hopefully you get a lot of benefit from what we've prepared for you today. There's a lot that Verizon does to make sure that we show up right for the community, especially New Orleans. We have a local account management team. I have them in the back there. Thanks, John. A local team that is dedicated to serving the small businesses will come out to your site, talk to you through your business needs, make sure that we're putting the right solutions in place to ultimately help your business. We also have the same thing with our network team. We have a local network team working out of a new command center in Kenner to make sure that we are showing up the right way for the small businesses in the area. this isn't a short-term project for us either. Our network team has been working on everything preparing for the Super Bowl over the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years, we have almost tripled our capacity, the amount of traffic we can manage over our network, so that we are prepared for this and every other event in the New Orleans area. We just also put in a new dedicated antenna system at the Superdome. It got a big test over the weekend.
Yes, it did.
Swift concert. A lot of streaming, a lot of FaceTime going on during the concert. Apparently, teenage girls like to do that. So it was a really, really good test for our dedicated antenna system, but it performed really, really well. We're very happy with the results from that. And then finally, one of the big things that we do for the local community, small business owners, is our digital ready platform. So please, if you do nothing else, please go to digitalready.verizonwireless.com. You can also Google Digital Ready Verizon. But from that website, there's over 40 trainings, all free, that you can take to help your small business, things from making goals, creating your online story, improving your digital, your website so that you show up the best way for your business. There are experts as well available through that website to consult with you. The best thing is our grant program. Every year we grant over $1 million to small business owners, usually in the form of $10,000 at a time. But for the Super Bowl, we'll be issuing a $25,000 grant to a local business, as well as Super Bowl tickets. So I highly encourage you to take the time, take a couple online trainings, and register for that grant.
Oh, I think you said Super Bowl tickets, so I think everybody will.
Yeah, hopefully the grant too, but Super Bowl tickets, almost as valuable probably.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, Chincie, how can small businesses in New Orleans leverage the influx of tourists that we're going to see for the Super Bowl to boost their sales?
Absolutely. I agree with making sure that your website is up to date. Make sure that your services are listed. We also like to see what other clients have you worked with in the past, what other major events or smaller events have you worked on. But then also, I would tell businesses to think long-term. Don't just think about the Super Bowl, right? Think about all the other events that come here to New Orleans on an annual basis. So making sure that you are developing relationships. The convention center, a lot of events are held there, right? So the convention center has their own DBE program or small business program. Make sure you're getting to know the people there. Make sure that if you're a small business, that you have your certification, right? If you're a minority-owned business or a Black, Indigenous person of color, make sure that you're connecting with those local chambers who are advocates for you. They are the ones that put you in a position so that you can be successful. A lot of times, too, they also have capacity building workshops and professional development. So really taking advantage of the local resources that are here, in addition to building your digital brand and presence, is a big component.
All right. And Daphne, how does GNO Inc. support economic mobility during large-scale events like Super Bowl?
So that's always the question. How do we do this? And once again, this is about how we make sure that our local businesses, our local entrepreneurs are best prepared to handle the influx of people coming in. How are they trained to know how to be able to navigate contracts? How are we looking at economic mobility as the platform to leverage our businesses, not just for the Super Bowl, but for continuing events throughout the city? As Chincie just mentioned, we have events going on from January to January, and they need our small businesses. People come to New Orleans for a taste of New Orleans, and who better to give that than the local people here? So our goal is not just to make sure they have the business side, but also how are you able to navigate to bid? How are you navigating to differentiate your business from others? How are you making sure that when people come here, they know that I want to go to this business. This is who I want to work with. And also, how can I take and expand that outside of New Orleans, outside of the state, to make sure that our businesses are growing, not just regionally, but nationally? So that's what we do with economic mobility. How can we take what you're doing and expand that throughout the nation and make you that business case? So people are looking at you and saying, I want to be like this organization. I want to be able to expand. And also to know that when you come to New Orleans, you're getting something authentic, which is what we specialize in.
And Seth, talk about connectivity. We know how important that is for businesses, but what steps can businesses take to make sure that they stay connected?
Yeah, there's a lot there that we can help. Everything that Verizon offers is mobile first, easy to deploy, but there's a lot that you should consider because this is such an important part, such an important time for the city. You have to have that connection or your business is not going to be able to operate. Just imagine if you don't have the internet, you're going to take a payment, your POS system don't work, anything back end tied to email wasn't able to operate like it normally could. Verizon can help with all of that. We have solutions like fixed wireless access, mobile internet that allows you to have internet anywhere you want. With the expansion of our 5G network that gives better speeds, lower latency, more bandwidth, often our business internet can be a primary connection for your business. A lot of them have a more reliable experience with our wireless internet than often wireline services. A lot of small businesses too, with the extra traffic, want to consider having a guest Wi-Fi separate from their business internet. They want to provide a guest experience, but they don't want it to impede their ability to do business. So you can have a completely separate internet experience for your guests through our network. And then finally, backup solutions. Backup is probably the biggest thing because because of congestion, because of construction, because this part of the world is very familiar with natural disasters. There's a lot of things that can cut that internet connection. What are you going to do if that happens? Business internet can be a fail-safe, can be a backup solution for your business so that you never go down, especially with this event coming up. We want to make sure that you're able to capitalize.
And Seth, you're so good, you already answered my next question, I think. But just in case you didn't cover it all, any other technological solutions to the increased traffic just to make sure you stay connected?
Sure. There's two others that I think every business should consider. In addition to business internet backup primary connection, One Talk. So we have a VoIP system, your primary business phones. Through our VoIP system, it's easy to scale. It's easy to deploy. There's not a bunch of servers in a back room like in the old days. This is all cloud-based. So our expert team in the back can help you deploy a system that helps you prepare for now, but also allows you to scale if you need to take more customer calls, take more orders, service more people during the Super Bowl. We can easily add connections, lines for your business that route the right way. Because it's also cloud-based, there's an app tied to it where, you're busy, you're running your business, you're all over the place. We can have that call forwarded to your cell phone through the app. And the customer, whoever's calling, has no idea that that you're in the car or doing something else. They think they're calling that business, and you answer it just like you normally would. The other thing I think you have to think about is cybersecurity. Hackers are constantly attacking businesses. They want your data. They want to corrupt your system. They do it through phishing schemes, smishing schemes, through ransomware attacks. If that happened when you are trying to do the most important business of the year, how would that impact your business? So almost every solution that Verizon has, I have a dedicated security team as well that can offer security software to make sure that they're not able to get through and break into your system.
And all of these things you're talking about, these are things that you shouldn't wait till the last minute to get done. Business owners should be proactively doing some of these things already to get ready.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of this, once again, we can implement it anytime. It's all wireless first, so we can start now and then expand the footprint, expand the portfolio when it's time for the Super Bowl.
Okay. And Chincie, what opportunities are there for small businesses to actually be involved in Super Bowl week?
Yeah, so right now, with the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, we're working closely with the NFL to run Super Bowl LIX Source. And so we have, again, over 200 businesses that are either minority-owned, woman-owned, LGBTQ plus-owned, veteran-owned, or persons with disabilities. And they provide goods or services that are directly related to the Super Bowl. So that can be security, transportation, furniture rental, anything behind the scenes of an event. We likely need businesses to help us bring those events to life, right? We've also added professional services to the program this year. So graphic design, marketing, finance, legal. All these services are needed to help, bring the Super Bowl here. And so what we've been doing is making sure that we're able to provide contracting opportunities for these businesses, as well as provide them with, again, professional development, and then also networking opportunities. So we want to make sure that our businesses here are prepared and ready to do business with the NFL, and take advantage of these Super Bowl opportunities. One thing that I want to touch on, and I think Daphine also touched on it too, is that certification. We know that with the NFL, there are qualifications that need to be met, right? So to be a part of our program, businesses need to have been in business for at least 3 years. They need to provide a good or service that's directly related to the Super Bowl, and they need to be in the 10 parish region, right? So we want to make sure that we are impacting local businesses. And that certification is important to the NFL because it verifies who you are as a business. It adds another level of credibility. So there are a number of different organizations here that actually provide that certification at no cost. The City of New Orleans has a certification at no cost. Regional Transit Authority, no cost. But then there are also others that there is a fee, but there's also networking opportunities and professional development as part of it. So someone like the Minority Supplier Development Council, they have a great program as well.
What are some of the challenges you face or you have to overcome managing big events like this?
For me, I don't look at it as a challenge. I look at it as an opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to showcase who we are, the City of New Orleans, and showcase that to the world. So it's a great challenge, if you will, but it's an opportunity for us to really put those businesses forefront. And then also, again, the other things that we're doing on the community engagement side, making sure that our nonprofit organizations have the resources, that we're doing things on the sustainability side with tree planting and urban forestry and coastal restoration. All those things are a part of bringing a Super Bowl here to New Orleans.
All right, so Daphne, let's talk a little bit more about G&O Inc. and how local businesses collaborate with G&O Inc. to really maximize their growth during events like this.
So the Super Bowl is a huge blip in our timeline in the city. It's a blip, and it's a huge one, but we have to make sure we are here before, during, and after, and have opportunities for our citizens before, during, and after. So we want to make sure those opportunities are available locally for the Super Bowl. But our goal is ensuring that we are continuing the progress throughout the rest of the years that we are here. Super Bowl leaves. We will still have the same issues that we had before. And the way that we make sure that our city, our community thrives is by building up the small businesses, which are the backbone of any community. So when our small businesses thrive, that means our streets are fixed. That means our students are in better schools. They have everything they need. That means that our infrastructure has the monies to be repaired. So we have to make sure that we're not looking at this just from one aspect. Our goal is continuity. So in addition to what we provide in the Super Bowl, which I talked about earlier, it's also about continuing those programs for the small businesses. And that means that every year, making sure that we are taking time to invest in their professional development, which guess what falls to me. That's one of my new projects, right? Mm-hmm. Is to ensure that we are having professional development ongoing for our small businesses, because entrepreneurship and innovation is what's going to really propel our city. And that is really our focus is, yes, we can lay some of the groundwork, but how do we see this continuing on? And that's where our focus is, looking towards the future and capitalizing and leveraging what the Super Bowl is allowing us to do in this present moment.
And Chincie, I would love for you to just kind of chime in on this about the long-term benefits of an event like this, because as Daphne said, the benefits keep going long after the event is over.
Absolutely. And that's why I also want to stress again that certification, because it opens door for other opportunities and for you to work with other events and other corporations that are here locally, but then also regionally and then across the nation, right? So really take advantage of that opportunity. And then once you've done a smaller project, because people also think too that Super Bowl is just one mega event. It's smaller events over 2 weeks, right? So it's a lot of different community activations, a lot of hospitality events. So it doesn't always have to be like, oh, I worked this large scale thing. No, you may have provided 300 items for one event, and that is enough. That is huge. That is something that you get to put on your resume. I will say too, there is also a legacy component as it relates to the Super Bowl LIX source program. The Saints will actually take this program over once the Super Bowl has taken place. So if you don't know the Saints and you don't know their DEI team, get to know them, right? So we want to make sure that these opportunities continue. And so that's why relationships with G&O Inc. and others, Verizon, is so important, because we will continue this collaboration long after the game.
Okay. And Seth, have you worked with any customers? Oh, Daphne, go ahead. Yes.
I wanted to add to that. I'm glad you brought it up. It jogged my memory. With the source program, what this incredible what do you call that? Like all the companies that are listed that's in that source program that have been certified, GNO Inc. is responsible for attracting businesses to the region. So we want to also capitalize off the source book. So when these new industries come from all over the world, we have a source book when they're asking, how do we have these services? What does New Orleans have to offer? We have this listing, this directory of businesses that can include all of our small businesses who are certified to show them we are ready to go. We have what you need and you can build business here. And when we attract those businesses, that once again builds up our entire community. So we are taking this source book and we're looking at how we are attracting and retaining our businesses and utilizing that to make sure our businesses have opportunities that are local and we're attracting new ones.
Okay, very good point. Thank you, Daphne. And Seth, again, have you worked with any customers who have really demonstrated how a small business can grow and really expand their reach through event tourism during large-scale events?
Yeah, we do this a lot for a lot of different reasons. Nothing's as big as the Super Bowl, but we help businesses all the time for concerts, festivals, other events that they have to show up differently because of that. Our mobile-first technology, once again, allows them to do that. Often we have businesses that want to set up a mobile shop, a tent at an event, do something curbside to manage the traffic differently. We have handheld devices through our network. Once again, business internet being able to be deployed anywhere. MiFi devices, little Wi-Fi devices, battery powered, that can have internet anywhere. These type of devices allow you to show up differently and manage your traffic if it does look different during an event. I also think, during these events, because of the extra traffic, you got to think about your assets and your product. We have great solutions tied to Arlo cameras that are wireless, again, that you can put anywhere to make sure that you're keeping an eye on your assets, your product, make sure it's not going anywhere.
Okay. And Chincie, can you share any success stories of local businesses that have really thrived during past large-scale events? Because we've had a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. There are some common threads that I see with the most successful businesses that are a part of these programs. So one, responsiveness. A lot of times we are on tight deadlines, right? And so if I come to you and I need a service or I need a product, I need you to respond to me within 48 hours. All right, so that's important that you're very responsive. Another thing is promptness, being on time. I had an event that started at 8 o'clock, right? And I asked the vendor, the event didn't start at 8, but our staff needed to be there at 8 o'clock, and I wanted our vendors to be there at 8 o'clock as well. I had a vendor show up at 7:45. That's important to me, right? It shows that you're ready and you're willing to work and you don't mind being there early. So those things stand out to me. Also, under-promise and over-deliver. That's a common theme that goes a long way with our organization. And then going the extra mile. And so I have an example where we recently had an event at the Superdome. It was a beautiful event. And my family was in attendance, but we had 3 different parts of this event, right? We had an event in the lounge, we had an event on the field, and then we also had a networking portion. And my family got confused and missed the field presentation, which broke my heart, right? I was really sad about it. And so I told our videographer who was working that event, what happened and how they missed everything. The videographer produced the videos for our company, but then she also created a video just for me so that I can give that to my family. That goes a long way with me, right? So when it comes time to doing videography again, who do you think I'm going to think of? I'm going to think of the person that thought of my family, right? So those type of things matter to us.
Okay, I think we have some audience questions, I believe. So we're going to go through some of those. And if we could just scroll up a little bit, how can small businesses integrate their services or products into large-scale events without having a physical presence at the event venue? Chincie.
Again, I guess taking advantage of digital technology, right? Making sure that your websites are up to date, and then also your social media accounts. We go on Instagram all the time. We look at LinkedIn. We look at all those things to verify a business and what type of services they provide. And I would turn it over to you, Seth, because I know you can talk about having a presence without actually being physically.
Yeah, Chincie, you said it very, very well. That's what the Digital Ready platform really helps small businesses do. We expect you to be an expert in what you do, which is not probably website design. That's where we step in. Our free resources through this will give you experts that can help you set up that website. So it looks great, but you want to show up differently. You want to drive traffic. If you're not at that event, what can you do special? What can you do creative to drive traffic to your online footprint? And then social media. Have fun. Making constant posts, once again, whatever you have going on in your business, highlighting it. People enjoy that, and it definitely makes them feel as part of the community.
Okay. And the next one is, what specific opportunities exist for local entrepreneurs to collaborate with the Super Bowl host committee to gain visibility? Chincie?
I would say, again, feel free to reach out to us. I'm going to stay here after this presentation, this panel discussion. So build a relationship with me, right? We have a community engagement team. There's 3 people on our team. Get to know who we are, because Super Bowl is not the only event that we have here in New Orleans. So we're not going anywhere.
All right. And Seth, for businesses unfamiliar with the latest digital tools, what are the first steps you recommend they take to enhance their digital readiness for events like the Super Bowl?
Selfishly, go to digitalready.verizonwireless.com and talk to my team. Like this is what we do. I want my people to be more than just a salesperson to your business. I want them to be a consultant, a free consultant that gives you ideas from things we've learned from other businesses that we've served. Talk to you about technology that you may not be an expert in, but we can offer. We can talk about how it applies to your business, and then bring in other third-party companies to help deploy it to your business. So there's a lot we can do to make sure that you are showing up the right way. And similar to what the other panelists talk about, the investments we're making in New Orleans are not going anywhere. All of the assets we've put into place by local team, the local network team, our new command center, the multi-million-dollar project we put in at the Superdome, that's not going anywhere. We're a long-term partner to the NFL, long-term partner to most of the NFL teams, like the Saints. We're not a partner to that team in Dallas. I think most Saints fans in the room can appreciate that. But these are long-term partnerships that we plan on showing up for well beyond the Super Bowl.
And most businesses or most business owners aren't technology experts. So I guess tell us some of the pitfalls that you see commonly when people are trying to deploy technology during large events, and how do they avoid these pitfalls?
I think they do it too late, or when something bad has happened. It's like insurance. Like if you don't have insurance, something bad happens, you're in trouble. You're paying for it, you have it, and thank God you have it when you need it the most. That's what some of the backup and security solutions offer a business. And a lot of people just don't know. They see our commercials. They know of Verizon, but they don't understand all the stuff we do from a business side that we can offer. Beyond the solutions I've talked about, we can deploy everything we've talked about. If you don't have the bandwidth or the ability to deploy some of these, we have partners that we can bring in and do all of the work. We can make it as simple as possible for your business to be prepared, do it early, and make sure you don't have any issues when you need that technology the most.
Okay. And Daphne, can you just elaborate a little bit on the types of support that GNO Inc. offers to small businesses looking to scale up operations in anticipation of events like Super Bowl?
Well, we have an entire business development team. That means if you call GNO Inc. and say, I have a business, it's local, and I need support in scaling my business, we have a dedicated team who is there. If you need, for example, warehousing space, if you're looking to figure out what are the tax credits that benefit your company, how do I deal with SSBCI, SBA, any of those types of things, we have an entire team dedicated specifically for scaling businesses here in the New Orleans region, and of course, expansion outside of that. So if you are just starting out, you're getting your feet wet, we can walk you through those steps, and we have the team there to make sure you are successful.
And how can small businesses leverage economic mobility initiatives during and after the Super Bowl to really sustain the growth? We talked a little bit about that, about after the Super Bowl.
Well, to sustain that growth is, once again, building the proper infrastructure within your business. And that is going to be the key. And also, as I said, our business development team, that's their role, is to help guide and navigate you in the proper directions and say, hey, this is what's available to you. This is how you can grow. And these are the other opportunities that we can help provide you with. As we stated before, it's not just Super Bowl, and it's not just the Sugar Bowl. It's not just, Final Four, but we have one of the biggest conference footprints in the entire nation. People love to come here. And so even working with with us to say, okay, this is the calendar for the year. How can my business be a part of this, and where do we fit in? Our goal is to make sure that you are successful.
All right. So I want to give you all a chance to just give us a final thought on what we've talked about today that will really resonate with the audience here on what's most important moving forward from today.
I would say building relationships and taking advantage of the local resources that are here day in and day out. Make sure that you know who the key players are and build those relationships.
Yeah, my team doesn't know your business. We don't know your specific needs. So we treat every business as a unique experience to show up for them. Because of what we can offer, we can tailor make solutions for your business. I want to have a conversation early with my team and yourself so that we can give you the tools you need to show up the right way. Verizon has the same goal you do for the Super Bowl. We want to create a unique experience that has people talking well after the Super Bowl to bring people back to your business and amplify our brand as well as yours.
I would say that we need to make sure, which we kind of touched on, scalability and longevity. We are suffering within our region from brain drain, where we educate our young people and they think they have to leave. What better way to get them to stay than by growing business and industry right here? And that starts with us locally. We need, in order for us to have vibrant communities, we have to work on our small business. We have to continue to innovate, educate, and we have to make sure that our people know what is available to them. I would say being educated on the different types of tax credits that are available to your business to help you grow. I would say concentrate on scalability. And I would also say to always, always, always make sure that you are prepared when a time comes. As Quincy said, sometimes opportunities come. There's a 48-hour turnaround. Are your finances prepared? Do you know how to go through and have a legal team or a legal person to go through those contracts? Are you prepared for an RFA process? Make sure that you are prepared not just for the immediate, but for something bigger, because I do believe that when you start, you have the opportunity to expand, and you have to be ready for that at any given moment, because we don't know when opportunity will present itself.
Well, very good. Well, thank you, Daphne, Chincie, Seth, for joining us this morning. Let's give them a big round of applause. It's been a lot of great information today. Good. All right. As we get ready for Super Bowl 59 in February 2025, many small and medium-sized businesses in Louisiana are expecting a huge increase in demand. And today we're going to talk about how businesses are preparing and the strategies they're using to make the most of this opportunity. So please give a warm welcome to Tracie Haydel Griffin, who is manager and fourth generation from New Orleans' famous Dooky Chase restaurant. Also, Sinnidra Taylor, CEO of Crazy Waffle Bar. That sounds amazing. Thank you, ladies, for being here. So Verizon Business recently conducted a State of Small Business survey with a specific section that focused on Louisiana small businesses. And that survey revealed that almost 7 in 10 Louisiana small businesses anticipate increased demand during the Super Bowl, and they're investing more into technology, into marketing. They're also staffing accordingly. So I guess my first question to you is, how are you preparing your business for the influx of visitors during the Super Bowl? Tracie.
Well, we're getting ready now. We started months ago when we, as a city, celebrated that this was our year that was coming, 2025. We looked at our infrastructure and started renewing and changing our POS system, looked at the strength of our internet service coming in, and met with Verizon to see how we can strengthen that. And we, too, tested the system this weekend. And, you know, all was great. So we're excited, but we're still meeting with our team to see how we can improve internally, making sure that we didn't miss anything, there's a gap in the system. Let's identify it now so we can continue to practice on that. But we started investing in that infrastructure with technology months ago, and we've been keeping Verizon on that team and as a part of that conversation throughout.
And it was a good test run this weekend.
It was a good test run. Hey, I didn't fail. One thing that's not easy to me is technology. And so I rely on some younger ones with not as much gray as myself to help me through. And so we leaned in on our younger generation and on Verizon to help us through.
I don't see any gray, by the way, but that's awesome. Sinnidra, tell us how your business is preparing.
So we've begun preparing by looking at our uniforms. Can we update them? Can we go with a fresher look? Looking at our inventory, what things are difficult to source that may take a few days to get in. We love working with sustainable products, plates, forks, and it's not readily accessible, at least the bamboo items that we love. So seeing how we can slowly start to stockpile those items, because it also helps that it won't stretch out our credit line, because we're, stockpiling it in advance. We are developing relationships, attending events like this, seeing who the players are. We attended smaller festivals, like the most recent Embrace the Culture Festival, which was, a pilot sort of trial run as well, seeing who the players were in that space, event companies that might be in charge of larger events like NOCCI and New Orleans and Company, making sure they know who I am. And that's just some of the things. I'm like all over the place. Website, everything, like everything.
I love what you said, making sure they know who I am.
Yeah.
That's really important.
For sure.
The networking part of it. As businesses prepare, the most cited concerns from the survey are ensuring that social media and marketing plans are implemented in time. That's actually 51% of the people surveyed said that's a big concern. Also, that digital and web presence stands out and attracts customers. I guess, how are you leveraging social media and online marketing to reach potential customers during the Super Bowl, or how are you planning to? Tracie?
So what we're planning is sprucing up what we do. We're a fifth generation now at the table with the business. We've been fortunate enough to be blessed with 83 years of service to the community. And we haven't relied on social media, so that's new to us. But social media is so engaging because it begins a conversation, it brings introduction with people that you haven't encountered before, and it gives them a sense of who you are before they enter your door. So what we're looking at is introducing small conversation bits to announce Dooky Chases, to say when we're open. We're actually going to bring on, more days of service. We can't expand our walls. We can't add more chairs and tables. But we said, you know what? We can expand our days of service to be more accessible to the community as they're coming in and the guests that are coming in. So we're looking at that, and we're putting together our strategy for TikTok and Twitter and Instagram.
What?
Did I mess up on those names?
Dooky Chase on TikTok? All right.
They're working on it. The fifth generation has some visions, and we're discussing those visions. But we do recognize that that's a path that we have to go into, and we're excited for it. We're excited to learn. One of the things that my grandparents were always great at, they were lifelong learners and willing to embrace the new thoughts and ideas that came their way. And so here we are embracing that. And so, I don't know if there's going to be a TikTok step dance involved. We'll see. But we're crafting that messaging at this time so we can take advantage of timing. I think there's timing, right? When you drop pieces and teasers, and all of that goes into the logistic planning of that. But that's a part of it, and connecting it with our website. We are redoing or finishing the renovations of one of our most historic areas of the restaurant, and it's the upstairs dining room. And that is the space of the restaurant that historically has gathered community for conversations. And in the coming months, that space is going to be reopened for guests to enjoy. And with the Super Bowl coming, we wanted it available for them because so many people share the history of civil rights and really want to walk and feel space and time. And so a part of our social media and what we're doing is bringing that space and announcing its presence so that guests, when they come, and of course our local friends and families and customers can take that space in once again. So that's a part of the messaging that's going to come from Dooky Chases that will be on social media and on our website.
Look for Tracie on TikTok.
I'm going to have a swanky day.
I cannot wait. And Sinnidra, tell us how you're planning to leverage social media and marketing for this event.
Okay, for sure. So really looking at SEO, and shout out to the Digital Ready platform, looking at my brand identity, figuring out which additional words I need to add into my SEO so that I can populate like production catering or NFL or Super Bowl, making sure that I'm first of mind on specific events and really thinking about what types of events will be here. Is there a new customer that I haven't considered? And how am I integrating that language in my online platforms? So also looking at my website, making sure it's easy to navigate. And there's a lot of work I need to do on my website. I'm excited about it. And it kind of, has diverted my attention to doing more of that. I hope to be on TikTok, but also I'm everything and I'm tired. So it's aspirational, but I might just have to work with some digital creators or food influencers because I'm not sure that I have the capacity to do it. Yeah.
You do. You could get Tracie to teach you.
Tracie and I just talked about this off the stage. She ain't doing it.
You weren't supposed to tell.
I'm sorry. You might see.
So what I shared was that, I enjoy operational logistics. I enjoy behind the scenes. And I am, calculating and reading emails and going, oh, here you go, Dook. Here you go, Aunt Stella. They want to meet with you. And so I'm really good at staying behind the scenes.
Okay. Yeah, there's a little method to your madness there.
Oh, there is.
Yes. Okay, so most small businesses are reporting that they're leveraging digital tools and technologies to get ready, but they're also hiring more seasonal staff. 59% say yes, more staff. 59% also say they'll be investing more in advertising ahead of the event. What role does customer service play in your Super Bowl preparations, and how are you enhancing that?
Customer service is the backbone of who we are here. I mean, I thought that was ingenious of the, Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation and our host committee when the tagline is, this is what we do, right? This is what we do as a city, is host people. So those seasoned people that we're all engaging now into our business are people that have the joys of New Orleans, have the stories to share, and they want to celebrate it. And as a city, we're coming together and celebrating who we are, because this is what we do. So we're building and expanding our team now so that, everyone is greeted how we want them to be greeted when they enter the doors of Dooky Chases, and certainly received the way we want them to be received now. So we're not waiting until game day Super Bowl time to bring in this staff. We're engaging in them now so that they have the answers and the responses we want our guests to receive. And so that's building in trainings. And of course, secret shopper visits all the time.
Secret shoppers.
Yes.
Who wants to be a secret shopper? The hands are going up.
Yes.
Sinnidra, how are you going to handle customer service and really getting that up to speed?
As far as Crazy Waffle Bar is concerned, it's embedded in the value so that every customer feels like they're having a unique experience, even though this waffle bar is here, stationary, and everyone has access to it. So that part is not really difficult, but in terms of scaling with consistency in customer service, I also share the responsibility of executive director of Friends of Codey's NOLA, which is a nonprofit that supports food entrepreneurs. So instead of going to a temp agency, which I would have to do, now I have a network of food entrepreneurs who are less than 3 years in business. So now she can still get that experience and generate some revenue by assisting me in the work that I do But if you are a Friends of Codey's entrepreneur or a community member, just stand up real quick. I just want to show y'all the power of network. So I have all of them to help extend my business. Thank you all. And vice versa. They have me to help extend the capabilities of their business. So through this community, through this network, through this partnership, we're always at the kitchen, with ideas, it really just continues to empower us when we feel down, when we feel lost, when we feel like we don't have it all, when we feel like, I don't want to be everything anymore. It's okay, I'm going to be social media today and you can be, whatever. So that is where I'm empowered in terms of staffing. And because we work together regularly, we understand the customer service that people should be receiving. And we try to make that consistent across our businesses because we are a part of a collective. So when they say I'm a Friends of Codey's entrepreneur or I work from Friends of Codey's, they expect a certain standard of service. And that's how I'm able to capitalize.
Okay, very good. And what resources have you leaned on to help grow your business? Sinnidra, let's start with you with that.
Digital ready, shameless plug. But I've leaned on relationships with companies like Cisco. Having their line of credit is important, or U.S. Foods. I've leaned on community-based organizations that support food entrepreneurs in general, like LSBDC and Fund 17, Propeller. I have a connection with every incubator in the city, even though I'm an incubator. Like you said, we're stronger and better together. So I'm always at the events talking, even when I don't, you don't want to always talk. You want to put your head down and do the work, but you have to kind of be all the things when you're a small business. So literally, whatever I can do, I do it.
Tracie?
Definitely. And the same. We leaned on our vendors. We've talked to them, about their supply capabilities, what to expect coming in. We've leaned on our financial institutions. We've also leaned on partners like Propel, the Urban League. Many have been a part of the conversation to make sure that our business is ready, but also that we're ready and in a position to support other businesses that are going to have opportunities to come their way at this time, and we can support them as well.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Next up, we have another fireside chat with Tracie, Griffin from Dooky Chase's restaurant, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. Is Kool-Aid in the house? All right. First, we're going to tune into this video featuring a favorite local business, of course, Dooky Chase.
I might be a Bama boy, but New Orleans is my home now. I'm Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm a cornerback for the New Orleans Saints. Everyone down here is always happy, dancing, having a good time. I don't really dance, me personally, but I like to see people dance.
And now I'm partnering with Verizon Business to cover an amazing local business.
I'm on my way to check out Dooky Chase Restaurant, and I can't wait to try their food.
I'm Chef Duck Chase, Executive Chef of Dooky Chase Restaurant here in New Orleans, Louisiana. From U.S. presidents and Hollywood celebrities, Dooky Chase Restaurant has been a gathering place for people who want a taste of what New Orleans is all about.
Kool-Aid, welcome. How are you doing?
Doing good. Blessed to be here.
I'm so happy and glad that you're here. So follow me. I'm going to show you a little bit about Dooky Chase's.
Yes, ma'am.
Right this way. The restaurant has been open since 1941, right here in the Tremaine neighborhood of New Orleans. Our office for the front of the house is right here. We serve the same communities.
Yes, ma'am.
Our customers are your fans, and we treasure that. But I'm going to put you to work. I'm going to get your help. So when the phone rings, you're going to take the order.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't mess up, because the kitchen will give you a hard time.
All right, I got you.
Make sure you get it right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling Dooky Chase Restaurant. This is Kool-Aid. How may I help you? Okay.
I'm
Go
listening.
order. 3 gumbos. That'll be all for you? All right, thank you. See you in 15 minutes. All right.
All right, so here we go. We got 15 minutes to make this happen. I'm gonna come over by you. We're gonna key this in together.
Yes, ma'am, let's do it.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get our ticket going. Any lag time in service compromises the customer's experience, right? If we didn't have a strong network with Verizon Business, we would be losing all 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and get to the kitchen.
Yes, ma'am, just sent it in.
All right, perfect. Chef Duck?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is where the
This is
magic
Kool-Aid.
happens. Pleasure. Thanks for coming down to this city.
Yes, sir.
Let's get him suited up to make this magic.
Okay.
Come on, put your uniform on. Let's go get it. So I'm the 4th generation in this business. Food is something that brings people together. It unites people. And the restaurant business is all about time. You imagine we're serving 300 people in 2 hours? You gotta be quick. If I didn't have a strong network like Verizon Business Internet, I don't have that extra time. It slows the whole process down in this restaurant. You know, we're celebrating 83 years, and how we got there is through the locals.
Yeah, as you know, I'm new to the city, man. Grateful to be here, grateful to be able to play football in this culture. Very special to me for the city to be able to take me in.
You feel like it's your home, man.
Yes, sir.
We know where you're coming from, but now this is your new home. So now you're in the kitchen, but there's one aspect that you have to become a member of this Dooky Chase family,
What's
man.
that?
You gotta meet Miss Stella Reese. She's the matriarch of our family. She's the leader. She's the coach. So let's go ahead out there and meet her.
Let's do it. Hey, how you doing?
Welcome.
Nice to meet you. Heard a lot about you.
Fine, sure. Well, have a seat and join me. Welcome to Dooky Chase's.
Yes, ma'am. Blessing to be here.
Oh, it's a blessing to have you.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
when you walk through the doors of this restaurant, we want everyone to feel like they're walking into our home. My grandparents started the restaurant because people like you and I, that look like you and I, didn't have many places to go and celebrate and to enjoy a good meal. So what we want you to do is to consider this home.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you're really homesick, you know where you're coming.
Right here.
Dooky Chases.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't forget.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys for having
Oh,
me.
thank you for coming and a successful year for you and the Saints. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. See you soon.
All right, see you soon.
Yes, ma'am. I love the people in New Orleans, and I'm excited for them to love me back. I might be a rookie, but I can't wait to represent this city and bring a championship to New Orleans.
Part-time job now.
Yes.
Awesome. It was good to see you visit the iconic Dooky Chase's restaurant. I'm excited to chat with you both about the Verizon Business Corner store segment and New Orleans. So I'm going to start with you, Kool-Aid. How are you enjoying New Orleans?
I'm loving New Orleans. I'm blessed to be here, enjoying the culture, enjoying how different things are from where I'm from. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
What do you love the most?
Probably food.
Good answer. What's your favorite food so far?
Yeah, probably gumbo.
Gumbo?
Yeah.
What was your big takeaway from your experience at Dooky Chase's restaurant?
You know, I got back there. I never had a job, so it gave me an opportunity to see what it felt like to actually have a job, take those phone calls, you know, be a part of all that. So yeah, that was probably the best thing for me.
Were you nervous?
Nah, I was trying to act like I knew what I was doing.
He did. He did. I was trying not to sweat those 15 minutes that he put on that timer on fried chicken, y'all. 15 minutes.
Oh, no. So he's got a lot to learn in the kitchen still.
Well, everybody rose to the challenge.
We got it done.
We got it done. You got to be quick when you're with Kool-Aid, right?
That's right. Well, aside from Dooky Chase's restaurant, do you have any other favorite restaurants in the city so far?
I tried, I think it's called Jerk House, Jamaican Jerk House. Yeah, that one good. That one good.
That was good. Been there a few times.
Yeah.
Tracie, do athletes often visit the restaurant?
We are honored to be able to serve athletes. And of course, you know, we have to improve on making sure we're giving them what the fuel that they need with today's dietary standards, right? We like to stuff everybody's belly, you know, with carbs and proteins and everything else, and rice and sausage, and sometimes it may overload them come game day.
Oh, no, we don't want that.
But, you know, like if we don't give you a full belly, then we're like, we didn't do our job. So there's this balance we have to have. But we are learning to respect the diet of the athletes that come and dine with us, and just full of joy whenever we can share and be of support to community.
And I know you talked a little bit in the video, but in what ways does Dooky Chase's restaurant serve as a gathering place for the community, including notable figures and politicians, athletes, you name it?
So in 1941, when my great-grandparents established the restaurant and opened the doors, it was open for community. That was the intent, to be of service to the community, for a space for everyone, regardless of who you were, where you were coming from, could come in and be served with dignity and respect. Because at that time, of course, we were governed by Jim Crow laws, right? And so for the African-American community, where you gathered was in your home or in the church's fellowship hall, and not with places with white tablecloths and linen. So when the doors opened, it was intentional for community, intentional for guests to be received with respect, with dignity, with table linens and all of that. And so that's what we continue to do at Dooky Chase's. And because of that, so many have gathered, and we have been honored to, serve, as my cousin said in the video, to serve presidents, to serve dignitaries. But we are always honored for the opportunity to serve everyone that comes, regardless of who they are, because it's always been a place where you can have personal connections and connectivity, where you can learn about each other, to grow with each other, to get new ideas and a change of perspective, where we enhance humanity overall. And so that's what the restaurant has always stood for, in spite of the challenges or the laws of a certain time. It's always stood for being a place for people to gather in the sake and fellowship of humanity.
Such a special place in the community, and thank you for always giving back.
Our pleasure.
Yes. Well, thank you to everyone who participated in today's events. We are excited, really excited to announce that Crazy Waffle Bar is actually serving those delicious waffles in the main area. And you can also grab a photo with Kool-Aid over here. So you don't want to miss that. If you do have any questions, Verizon Business representatives will also be available at the front, along with members of GNO Inc. and the Super Bowl host committee. Any questions about networking, you need to go to them. So thank you again, and hey, let's go Saints.
Yes, who dat? Oh, thank you.